Shalom.
Shalom.
All praises to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Rakah Kadash.
Praises to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Rakah Kadash.
And don't want to see apostles and elders, GreatMillStone.
Don't want to see apostles and elders, GreatMillStone.
Shalom to all the brothers out there doing the work in sincerity and truth. Just doing a video, just going to be covering this this Saturnalia thing, man. Because I was checking like the witches calendar, because I was looking. They chose a date for like the wedding, the royal wedding for what's his name, man, for Prince Harry. And it's like, you know, the way these elites work with these dates, they like to put things on certain days, man. So, you know, I found out it's like tomorrow, not today. Like today will be tomorrow, the 17th of December, is basically Saturnalia, man. And that's like, you can see everyone's in the spirit of that. Because in the West, that's basically a big thing they promote out here, man. That, you know, that Christmas, you know, everyone coming together, you know, love, all that goodness. But then this is actually a pagan practice, man. And you go into it, and then these things are basically, they're spoken of. Ah, man. Okay, I have to call the brother back after. Yeah, these
spoken of in the West.
Yeah, spoken of West. These things are the pagan practices, man. And more or less, all these things that they uplift and uphold is BS anyway, man. Because there's, you know, they try and make it, you know, it's love and all this and blah blah. But then Santa Claus is a goddamn paedophile, man. He's gonna have children sitting in his lap. But then and then the children are getting molested, man. And you're gonna have all this present giving and Christmas tree. But these are pagan practices that are spoken of and were condemned beforehand. But then you're trying to link it up with this white Jesus, man.
Yeah.
So, you know, let me let me start with this, because it's like I got the Wikipedia page for Saturnalia, and it says Saturnalia was an ancient Roman festival in honor of the god Saturn. So, you know, Saturn, Satan. That's basically what so these guys that celebrate Christmas, that's what they're upholding. It says held on 17th December of the Julian calendar, and later expanded with festivities through to the 23rd of December. So up until the winter solstice, man, when the sun's at the highest point. And it says the holiday was celebrated with a sacrifice at the temple of Saturn in the Roman Forum, and a public banquet, followed by private gift giving and continual partying, and a carnival atmosphere.
Party.
Yeah. So that party spirit. That's what everyone gets. Whenever no matter where you work, you could be a street cleaner. They're gonna have a Christmas party.
Yeah, that's funny. You know, it's funny you mentioned that, because they all do that, man. Well, every job has a damn Christmas party, man. Yeah. It could be the lowest to the highest job. And they're all getting smashed out of their nut.
Open bar, free
bare drinks.
Everyone getting revelry, man,
to the max. And then all of a sudden, nothing matters. Just that
you just get smashed.
Oh, that's true, man.
That's the spirit of Saturnalia. That's a demon, man, that you're worshipping. So that shows this is what Esau is basically promoting, man, out in this world, man. And that's why you got these stupid ass fucking Christians that say, oh, you don't celebrate Christmas? You don't even know what Christmas is. What are you celebrating, man? You know not what you worship. We know what we worship for salvation as all the Jews. You got a precept?
Yeah. Well, I've got Psalm 62 and 1. It says, "Hear my voice, O Lord, in my prayer. Preserve my life from the fear of the enemy. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked."
That's it, man. That's the secret counsels, man. Because that's all these things that are being set up. They put that as, but they exalt that day and make people go out and worship it. But then what they're actually making them do is wickedness, man. They're making these guys go off.
Yep, that's right. It says from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. Okay, who it says, who wet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words.
That's it, man. True. Or is more?
Right. It says that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not.
Yeah, that's it. It's us. They're basically making us go off, and that's the objective of basically upholding these. That's why they got the Easter as well, and various other days throughout the year, which are satanic high holy days, and they basically uphold those, and that's pretty much what they're pushing onto the people to make them like, hey, to make our people go off, because now everyone's you got from when you're a youth, you're meant to be like, oh, Christmas, you run 25th of December, you run downstairs,
in the morning,
and then you go under that tree, dive under the tree to get your Xboxes and your Game Boy Advances, man.
Yeah,
that's pretty much like what Esau's just put, and that's, you're basically upholding a pagan festival, man. It says followed by private gift giving, continual partying, and a carnival atmosphere that overturned Roman social norms. Gambling was permitted, and masters provided table service for their slaves. So basically, they flipped the social dynamic, man, where it's like, you know, you might have the boss there, but in this time it was slaves. The master will serve the slaves. So that's basically just like that's a day so the slave can feel like, yeah, I got one over them. Like they're feeling like they're part of the crew, but really they're still a slave, man. One day a year, you might you get treated up nice, and that's the same kind of thing, man. This is basically like a tool to just basically keep the slave populace in check, man. They get to have a good, Christmas comes around, there's a Christmas party, they get to get smashed, have some drunk sex with some co-workers, and then they feel good about themselves for the rest of the year.
Innit. Drunk sex with co-workers, man. That's off all that free booze.
That toilet sex, man.
And that happens, man.
Yeah, for real.
It's real, man. Drunk sex with fucking stupid broad co-workers, man. Which didn't even look twice at you throughout the year, but then one night. That's how you know it's demonic, because them women are in tune with it. Yeah. That's how you know it's demonic, man. That fucking Christmas party spirit is demonic. It's shit, man. But it's just like higher powers, man. Can I read this for you?
Yeah, go on.
Jeremiah 10, yeah? Shall I read that one, Jeremiah 10?
Yeah, go on.
It's fucked, man. It's fucked, you know.
That one's good stuff.
It's mad.
Yeah, it's wickedness, man.
It's wickedness. Jeremiah 10:1, it says, hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven.
That's it. Learn not the way of the heathen, because this is one of various practices, man. Saturnalia and this Christmas and New Year's, all this kind of spirit.
Yeah,
Babylonian mysticism is basically that's just one of many heathenish practices, man. And it's funny because this one's highlighting that. But in that scripture alone, learn not the way of the heathen. Because what do these guys get down with? What's okay? So they've basically, it's like, since Esau came in, these wicked practices have been multiplied, man. Because for example, like the Olympics was stopped. They brought that back. There's various things they brought back. The Renaissance, they whitewashed the image of Yahweh Shai. These guys have basically just been bringing more wickedness and offness. That's why you're not meant to be learning the way of the heathen. Because these guys, they're some demons, man. Go on. What you got, precept?
There's a bit more on this one.
Yeah.
It says, and be not dismayed at the signs of the heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. It says, for the customs of the people are vain. Yeah,
that's it. The customs of the people are vain, man. Because it's like, you say you try and tell someone in the world Christmas is off, they're gonna be no, but it's but it's fun, just for the kids, Santa and that. But they're not gonna eat. It's vanity, really. These guys are trying to just basically be like, no, but we should be allowed to do that. But that's completely off, because it's a pay. You're basically upholding demons by doing that, man. Go on.
It says, for the customs of the people are vain. For one cut off a tree out of the forest, the works of the hands of the workman with the axe. They deck it with silver and with gold. They fasten it with nails and with hammers.
Yeah, that's
that
it.
It move not.
So that's that Christmas tree, man. And they wrap it. You go in the whole of England. You go to any town centre, you can see a big fat Christmas tree up in the centre of the town. Lights on the thing, tinsels, decoration, baubles. Bro, I was walking down the street the
Where
other
we
day.
at? Where we at?
Yeah, where we
You
at,
see
bro?
it over- yeah,
But
yeah.
even though, bro, I was walking down the street the other day. I fucking stepped on one of them Christmas baubles just walking down the street.
Yeah, it's
That's how
spirit.
much. Everywhere you go,
Spirit, man.
there's these decorations. And you go to the damn pub,
Yeah.
there's fucking tinsels all around the chairs and everything.
Yeah.
That's basically that's proving the scriptures are truth, man. Because that's basically that the same practices, same pagan practices from back then, they've been revived, and that's what Esau's done. So that's why, bro. If any Christians trying to defend some Christmas, they are a filthy, dirty pagan, man. They ain't got a word to say.
You got to ride like Bishop Haymond, you know that?
Yeah. I didn't even watch that yet, but I need to.
He's zealous, isn't it? You know, he's zealous.
He's got the zeal.
Right, because he's like the Vikings. He's a zealous Christian.
Yeah. No,
Right, that's true though, because they're going off. That's how we are like that. We're zealous for the Lord's word, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're going
So-
off. That's
why you got to condemn them, man, that are doing these things. Because, hey, bro, the way these Christians are going on, it's like, oh yeah, no, it's just we know it's not the birthday of Christ, but but we just celebrate it. You know, it's just the day we chose.
Yeah.
No, it's not, man. You pagans.
It's a day you use. It's dogma.
Yeah,
That's the doctrine that
it's
they've
some BS, man.
they made you follow, and you fucking gone for it, man. You know.
Let me
All up in there, man.
let me get this, because I've got the two Babylons, which really breaks it down. Because you go through, they get into the whole dynamic of basically how this, like, just like in the time of the Romans, the Greeks, the ancient Babylonians, the Persians, the ancient Egyptians, all these cultures basically had the Trinity in some form, man. They had, that Tammuz, Semiramis, and
Cush that went back to
Kush.
Kush.
Back to Kush from which was from Nimrod's, which was from straight after man jumped off the ark.
Okay.
Back then, that's when them pagan systems were set up, and it's endured to this day, man.
Still here.
Still here, because this is the same
got
high
some-
holy day they uphold.
something for you.
That is the same thing they were doing back then. Let me read a bit of this, man.
Okay.
It's two Babylons. Let me see. This is page 198, and it says that Christmas. Okay, let me start on this 188. It says, "How then did the Romish Church fix on December the 25th as Christmas Day? Why fuss? Long before the 4th century and long before the Christian era itself, a festival was celebrated among the heathen at that precise time of year in honor of the birth of the son of the Babylonian Queen of Heaven." So that's already a day that's been used for demonic purposes, man. When the sun is highest point in the winter, that's when they'll celebrate. What's his name, man? This little balloon head, fucking Tammuz getting born, man. And it says, and it may fairly be presumed that in order to conciliate the heathen and to swell the numbers of the nominal adherents of Christianity, the same festival was adopted by the Roman Church, giving it only the name of Christ. So they just took what the pagans were doing and said, oh, but it's Christ now.
Yeah.
And that's what they were doing in the church. You go through the history, there's various practices that didn't exist, never heard of when Peter and Paul and the brothers that were the disciples and the apostles that were around in the time of Yahushua were around. But then all of a sudden you get the Roman Catholic Church and pagan things start getting sifted in because some grimy niggas were doing this, and all of a sudden that's what it always was. That's some BS. It says here that Christmas is at 189. That Christmas was originally a pagan festival is beyond all doubt. The time of year and the ceremonies with which it is still celebrated prove its origin. In Egypt, the son of Isis, the Egyptian title for the Queen of Heaven, was born at this very time, about the time of the winter solstice. The very name by which Christmas is popularly known among ourselves, Yule Day, proves at once its pagan and Babylonian origin. Yule is the Chaldean name for an infant or little child. And you know they have the Yule log as well, which they have, which they'll put in the fire, which is like Molech, what do you call it? Making the children pass through the fire.
Sacrifices.
Yeah, sacrifices, man.
I've got something for you. Can I quickly read this for you?
Go on.
This is Ecclesiastes 1 and 9. It says, "The thing that have been is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done. and there is no new thing under the sun.
That's it. There's no new thing under the sun. Because these are the same pagan practices, which like the guy's been breaking down. You go through the book. It's a hard book still, the two Babylons, because it basically just breaks down how every stage the same things: Easter, Christmas, and various other high holy days, just throughout, and the same. What is it? Father, Son, and the Queen of Heaven.
Spirit. And even that goes to woman worship as well.
Yeah,
all of these things link up.
Because that's like, it's just the origins of it. That's what it goes back to. It's all the same thing, man.
Exactly.
Man, we're getting down with the same wickedness back then. Same
thing happening, playing out today.
Yeah.
Playing out today, man.
For real. But go on. You got anything else?
That was it on that one, but I'll keep on Jeremiah 10.
Yeah, I think it's a bit more.
It says, Jeremiah 10:1, it says, for the customs of the people are vain, for one cut off a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workman with an axe.
Yeah, cuts down that Christmas tree. And you got, obviously in the UK, we don't even have what they call evergreen trees, I think. The ones that they use for Christmas. Those, they don't even have them and cut them down. Over here, you go Asda or Argos and get a little plastic tree with, the little star across at the bottom.
To stop it from
falling over.
And then put the angel on it, or
they put the angel,
a white angel or a star.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, can't. It says,
they
deck it. It says, they deck it with silver and with gold. They fasten it with nails, which that's what they do, right?
Yeah.
And with hammers that it move not. They are upright as the palm tree, but speak not.
Yeah, that's it, man. These guys, that tree is reverence, man. Especially for the youths, man. The way these niggas be getting their youths on that Christmas. I'm like, bro, the single mum will be broke as fuck, but she'll still find a way to get some Jordans and the odd Xbox for the youth. I'm like, that's reverence and adherence to a holy day, man. That Christmas is a high holy day, man. That Saturnalia, which is coming up, and it's like all the summer, the winter solstice lasts for a matter of days, man. So then that's how these pagan practices. So then you might see some people dropping dead, man. Because around like the last high holy day, they had that fucking, one of their high holidays, they had that fucking geezer go off in New York, man, and blaze some guys out. So when these left-hand side high holy days come up, hey man, the elites could start doing certain things. The Lord could have certain things happening, man. That's why it's good to keep track of, when these things happen. So, hey man, you can be aware. Link the events together.
It says with hammers and that move not. It says they are upright as the palm tree, but speak not. They must needs be born because they cannot go. Be not afraid of them.
Yeah, these trees were meant to be. Well, actually, go and finish that verse.
It says born because they cannot. Be not afraid of them, for they cannot do evil. Neither also is it in them to do good.
Yeah, that's it. The way, like in ancient times, it's like a representation of what's his name, Nimrod, man, in the tree. So that's why they'll give gifts to the tree and they'll honor the tree, because it's meant to be a representation of Nimrod, or Nimrod's penis, man. And that's. But then imagine people are doing the same practices, today, not knowing what they mean, man. Yeah. That's like if you worship Satan, you can't just say, well, no, but I didn't know I was worshiping Satan. Now if you bent over and took that and you're basically making the Faustian bargain, then you don't have a leg stand. And that's pretty much the same with these pagan practices. The Most High said he's a jealous God and putting over power before him. So if you're basically upholding the practices of these realms, then you're worshipping. Yeah, you're worshipping the devil, man.
Yeah.
Ain't no God, ain't no old white Jesus, which is the devil as well.
That's Revelation. Remember it said about if they take the mark, they worship the beast and the image and his image. That's everything. Yeah. Christmas, Easter, all of that. You don't need you accept all of that.
Because that's all in it. All the pagan practices that pushes out. That is the image, man.
That's the image. It says, afraid of them, for they cannot do evil, neither also is it in them to do good. For as much as there is none like unto thee, O Lord, thou art great, and thy name is great in might.
That's it. Thou art great in thy name. So, that means we got to have that name, surely. Which is something that a lot of guys have a problem with, man. Having a name, that's essential to even conducting yourself out here, man.
That's right.
Yeah.
Can't.
You got something else? Just to close up on.
Well, I mean, I can. There's more on. There's a bit more in this. I'll just finish up on the next verse here.
Go on.
It says. Yeah. Shall I read it?
Yeah.
All right. It says, verse 7 on Jeremiah 10:7. It says, "Who would not fear thee, O King of nations? For to thee doeth it appertain. For as much as among all the wise men of the nations, and in all their kingdoms, is there none like unto thee." Yep. "But they are altogether brutish and foolish. The stock is a..."
Okay. Yeah.
That was it. You know. It says.
Yeah. That's.
You know?
Well, that's. Read it again.
Right.
Sure it's talking about.
"Who would not fear thee, O King of nations? For to thee it appertaineth. For as much as among all the wise men of the nations and all their kingdoms, there is none like unto thee."
Yeah, so that's why it's like a bit. Well, I'm guessing it's talking about the pagan Babylonians.
Right, but you know it says
it
can't because
it
it says
now as well.
it can apply. Yeah, because it says this basically. Remember up above it says his Lord's cursing it all out. You know, like all these heathen customs.
The heathen customs.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so it's
pretty
like
much because even these guys. They had the spectacular plan to come together to smash Jake, man, and because all these nations were confederate to put Jake down. So you know, it seems like wise. They're basically it looks now. It seems Esau's got all these plans and everything.
Yeah, because he's the so-called wise. It says about the
wiser than down.
Because it says about the wise men among the nations, isn't it? And we're currently among who? Esau right now. None of the nations are wise, really. They're all the heathens they're heathens.
Yeah.
There's always among them, but then they're not. None. So that's why it said who among the. Remember it says who. Salakia. It says among the king. Who would not fear thee, O King of the nations? For to thee doeth it appertain. For as much as among thee the wise among the nations, and in all their kingdoms there is none like unto thee, like unto Yahweh Shem Yahushai, because he's the ultimate wisdom. That's why even in Babylon they put Daniel up as a president, bro.
They always,
they always use Jake,
within the different.
Egypt, Joseph was up there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Built out.
Come on, bro. And even in
basically,
even in this kingdom, bro, they got Jakes in high positions. You might not know them, but there's Jakes up there in high positions, man. Remember the apostles talking about the Bilderberg meetings? Yeah. They had a Jake walk. You don't I don't know him. I can't remember the name, but they had a Jake up in. Like you see him coming out to the meeting, a Jake.
Yeah.
So you always had Jakes in the high positions, man. That's why. But the point, Salakia, because you might have them, but the point is, the Lord is the wise among all the nations, man. You know, I'm just saying that. And who's the Lord? Power of who? Israel, man. You know, Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans.
These guys are basically they're trying to put themselves on some kind of a level, but you know, it's gonna come out, man. It's gonna come out because pretty much all the things they're doing to try and put their plans into action are just there's no wisdom in it, man. So, but hey, the Lord's got them basically holding on to that and trying to make it pass, man.
I'll read this one quickly for you.
A
quick one. This is Ecclesiastes 12 and it says 12 and 13. It says, "Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Lord and keep His commandments, for this is the whole duty of man."
Yeah, that's it. The whole duty of man. That's what really applies to Israel, man. Because we're the only ones that can keep the commandments, man. Well, we're going to right now. But the laws were given to Israel anyway, so it really only applies to Israel. For the other nations, their job is to serve us, man. And Esau's purpose is to get wiped out. So this is basically serving the Most High. That's the fundamental. If you're basically going to try and go through some other method or manner to try and attain power, it's not going to work out, man. It's not going to fare well. You know. I'll close it there. You got anything?
That's it, you know. Even through your damn Christmases.
Yeah. You can
the holidays that they worship, man.
Yeah, and they
ain't of the Lord, man.
With fervence, man. I don't know no one that's thinking I'm gonna work on Christmas Day, other than someone might just be grafting or out here just to grind. These so-called English people, they ain't fit. They don't hold that day, man. They'll link up with the fams. You know. I'll leave there. Say all praise to Yahweh B'Hashem Yahshai B'Hashem Rakah Kadash.
Praise to Yahweh B'Hashem Yahshai B'Hashem Rakah Kadash.
And shalom to all the brothers out there doing the work of the in truth, man. Double honors to the apostle and orders of Great Millstone.
Shalom. Double honors to the apostle and orders of Great Millstone. Shalom.
Shalom.